Hi everyone, I am back. Okay, first of all, I do apologize for taking ages to finish up with these novels and finish up with these recordings. In hindsight, I realized that you do actually need to factor in time to read the books and formulate a full thought about them. And I don't read for a living, so I had to, read when I could. Okay, so this is a new format, so I'm going to test out different ways of doing these recordings so that I can get more of these reviews and previews and thoughts out to you. I also want to use this kind of format to maybe do some more um, as I read sort of thoughts and feelings, because I think that's also quite interesting to share, and it's almost preparing for a book club of sorts. Okay, but before I get carried away with the book club, let me just describe how we will go through these ones. So I'll rehash the last few titles of 2025, and then I'll prepare your expectations for 2026. I'm going to try and release a video every week, and then take it from there and see how that does. So I know it's May, so just calm down, everyone. I'm doing it. Okay, I'm back and we're here. So I'll start off with taking you through the final review of Zakes Mda, and then we'll go through to the Covenant of Water, and then we'll do To Kill a Mockingbird, and then we'll go into some new titles that I've read in the new year. Okay, so Zakes is over here. So what I've done for these reviews is I've formulated a bookmark based on how I felt the book has gone and some of the key themes. Okay. So as we know, as we have been already introduced to the characters already, I'm not going to reintroduce them to you. You can watch the earlier video, which sort of goes into detail for them. Why is this not? There we go. Okay. So up here is like the key points of the main characters, right? So there's little son, which Twakazi always sort of describes Malangana, sorry. And then this drum is important because Twakazi is a diviner and she's a healer. So a big theme that I've really seen in this novel has been this theme of yearning, and yearning is not like staring at each other across the room, okay? Yearning in the sense that Malangana has literally walked the entire country and neighboring countries, in fact, to try and find Mtokazi. So, a big thing that's happened in the novel is that we know about Hamilton Hope and the colonial presence. What he ends up doing is he forces the Amapondamise people to fight with him to sort of further his pursuits. That is not taken very well by the Ama Pondomise people because he forces them to fight during a period of bereavement where King Mhlonto's wife dies. And during that time, if the queen has died, there's an observed period of mourning, which Hamilton Hope is not respecting and expects them to fight. So the Amapondomise people actually stage like a coup vibe and they assassinate him. They assassinate Hamilton Hope, and then everyone kind of has to run away and be exiled after that. And because of this assassination, it basically tears Malangana and Twakazi apart because they can't actually pursue their own like relationship because he has to run away and she's not aware of the fact that he's had to that he's had to exile and has to like run away. So she's kind of left hanging and not sure about where he's gone, what's going to happen for their relationship. And there's a massive time jump. There's two time points in the novel during everything and while everything's happening, and then after this assassination when they're much older. That's also a big part of what the story tells. So we see Malangana as this really strong soldier official in the army for the Amapunimisi people, and but then we also see him as this like frail, really old man searching for his lost love. So that's why I think a big theme for this novel is yearning, and I almost feel like it sort of likens or resembles the Sisyphus and his boulder, where like there's this constant pursuit and a restart and a pursuit and a restart, because he's always sort of one beat behind, one step behind her. He will arrive at a destination where someone has said, "Okay, she will be here," and then she's gone by the time he arrives. So there's a lot of yearning. And I think in that, the pace of the book reads as quite slow. And I kind of think it sort of likens his slow pace in which he's moving around because he's an old man trying to find her. So that's something I would say the book has. It's got quite a slow tempo, but I think it allows the reader then to also build up this sort of, you are also building up a sense of hope, and then you are also yourself feeling quite disappointed when he gets somewhere and she's not there. Right? I've included this horse here because this horse's name is Zambini. No, Zimbani, sorry. So this is a military horse. It took me a while to realize that this was a horse's name and not a person's name. But anyway, Malangana and this horse have like a really fervent relationship, and he really cares about the horse. He also broke the horse in, all those kinds of things. He's really committed to the horse. Um, and then there's like the side part where the horse dies. Oh, he goes to fetch the horse from the king, Mhlonto, where he is exiled, and he takes care of the horse himself, but then the horse dies. And then sort of queried that he kind of like eats the horse, because then when he's in like really deep despair, then he sort of neighs. I don't know. It's a confusing side quest that I wasn't really sure about, and he kind of gets known by this neighing story. Anyway, I thought it was odd, but he's there because this horse is important to him. And I think a big part of, even though we're meeting Malangana as such a frail, sad man, he does have this kind of relentless energy to pursue his lost love. And this quote is from page 91, where they describe even the school of the mountain, which is his own cultural underpinning, and the prison of the white man, could not tame his wildness. That is why he is now even stealing sacred drums from Inzal Wamhlaba. Yeah, Inzal Wamhlaba, those whose womb home was the earth. So this quote is still when he is sort of early in the pursuit of Mtokazi. And what's important to note is that his own people, the Amapondomise people, are not so happy with him wanting to have this relationship with um, her, because she's from the Khoisan community or Khoisan community, and the Amapondomise people sort of believe that because they have this nomadic culture, that they don't have ancestors, that there isn't a family line with which to connect to, and lineage and family name is quite important in the story. So the running theme or the rhetoric around the nomadic Khoisan community is that the womb home basically is the earth, and that they just sort of spring up out of nowhere. It's a little bit hypocritical in the sense that they're not so happy with him marrying her. So he, in two ways, is quite um, what's the word? Rebellious. He's rebelling against his own people and then rebelling against the prison of the white man. Because he's involved in Hamilton Hope's assassination, which basically tears him away from his love. And he also goes against the grain in terms of what's expected from him in his own community. So I found it was quite interesting to see him rebelling in so many different ways. And then this constant pursuit, irrespective of the distance, irrespective of the time lost between the two of them. Um, yeah, it was quite a sincere love story. They do find each other at the end. And he stole, just to explain, sorry, but more about the quote, he stole his Tokazi's drum um, from a different diviner because he recognized her drum and sort of used it as a way of getting information about where she might be. So he was quite like sort of nifty in trying to find her as well. So this novel I would recommend if you're not looking for a very fast pace, if you like, want to be able to read and put the book down a bit and revisit it and sort of go along the pace of his pursuit. It's quite nice. What I also enjoy about this novel is that you're learning something new about a different culture. There's words in a different language which you can pick up on and you can learn. And the historical fiction is very interesting in the way in which it connects to like a colonial historical point for South Africa, and it's written in this very interesting love story basically. So I think that's also quite interesting here. What you can expect coming up is I'll cover the other titles and then also go through some um, expected titles that I'll work through in the upcoming videos. Okay, so if you like a love story that's got historical importance and it's super slow, basically, I suggest watching, not watching, reading Zakes Mda's Little Sons. Okay, and feel free to let me know if you've read it. Let me know in the comments if there's anything that you think stood out for you in the novel itself. If you agree with my Sisyphus idea, or if you don't agree. Also, this is the true meaning of yearning. I will not debate about this at all. Okay. Anyway, um, guys, that's all my time for today. I'm gonna try and not go on forever and ever, yeah. And I need to find my place with the mouse and do the like exit sequence and everything. Where am I now? Uh oh, there. Okay, okay. Here we go. Please don't. Please no, not please don't. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And be sure to look out for what's going to come next. Thank you so much for your patience. Thank you for sticking around. Please tell your everybody to subscribe so I can do this more regularly. Thank you guys. Anyway, bye. Oh, shit, man.